You see, sometimes love is not about chasing, it's about becoming. You were there, fully present, giving, caring. But when you pulled away, something shifted. And now, she can't stop thinking about you. Not because you played a game, but because you changed the dynamic. There's an undeniable truth about human nature. We often don't realize the depth of something until it's no longer right in front of us. The calls, the texts, the constant presence. It was all there. But the moment you stepped back, you gave her the space to feel your absence, and in that space she found something she never expected. Longing. It's not about manipulation, it's about self-respect. The strongest love doesn't come from pleading to be noticed. It comes from being so magnetic in your own presence that people can't help but feel your loss when you're not around. Distance has a way of revealing the truth about human emotions. When you're always around, available, and easily accessible, people tend to take your presence for granted. It's not out of malice or intentional neglect, it's just human nature. We become accustomed to what is consistent, and in that consistency we sometimes forget the value of what we have. But the moment you create space, something profound happens. The absence of your presence becomes louder than your words ever could. She may not have realized it at first. Life went on as usual, and she carried on with her routine, but then, at some unexpected moment, she paused. Maybe she picked up her phone, instinctively scrolling, only to realize there was no new message from you. Maybe she walked into a place where you two used to meet, and for the first time she noticed how different it felt without you there. Or maybe she found herself reminiscing about the conversations, the laughter, the way you looked at her like she was the most captivating person in the room. It's in these moments that distance works its magic. Not by forcing feelings, but by allowing her to feel the weight of your absence. When you were constantly present, she never had to question what life was like without you. You were always there, always reaching out, always making the effort. But the moment you pulled away, the comfort of knowing you would always be there was disrupted. Now she's left with a question: why did you stop? Was it something she did? Was it something she said? And more importantly, why does she suddenly feel this ache when she never gave it much thought before? This is the power of distance. It shifts the perspective. It forces someone to reflect in ways they never did before. She starts to recognize the details that once seemed so small. The way you listened when no one else did. The way you remembered things she didn't even realize she had said. The way your energy made her feel safe, wanted, and seen. It's not that she didn't appreciate it before, but sometimes appreciation only deepens in the absence of what was once effortlessly there. Emotions aren't logical, and love isn't always immediate. There's a reason why people say that distance makes the heart grow fonder. It introduces a contrast, a sense of loss that creates longing, and longing is one of the strongest emotions a person can feel. It keeps someone up at night, replaying memories, wondering if they should reach out, battling between pride and the undeniable pull of missing you. But here's the thing. This isn't about playing mind games. This isn't about manipulation. This is about the natural flow of human connection. When you give too much of yourself without space, the energy can become unbalanced. But when you step back, you allow the other person to step forward. You give them the opportunity to see what life looks like without you filling in all the gaps. And if there's a real connection there, she will feel it. She will recognize it. And she won't be able to stop thinking about you. There is something undeniably compelling about mystery, especially when it comes to emotions. The mind is wired to be drawn toward the unknown, to crave what isn't easily accessible. When everything about a person is predictable, when their emotions are laid out like an open book, the intrigue begins to fade. But when there's an element of uncertainty, when emotions are layered and not immediately decipherable, fascination takes root. Fascination takes root. This is why emotional mystery holds such power. It lingers in the mind, making someone think about you long after you're gone. She may have thought she had you all figured out. Maybe you always answered her messages right away. Maybe you always showed up when she needed you. Maybe you always made it clear how you felt, never leaving room for doubt or questioning. There's nothing wrong with being open, but when emotions are always predictable, they lose their depth. The moment you shift, when you no longer give all of yourself so easily, something changes. Suddenly she starts to wonder. She replays past conversations, looking for clues. She notices a slight change in your responses, the way you're not as readily available as before, and that curiosity begins to grow. Mystery is not about being distant or cold. It's about maintaining a certain level of depth that keeps someone engaged. It's about allowing emotions to unfold naturally rather than putting everything on display all at once. When a person knows exactly what to expect from you at every moment, they stop anticipating. But when there's a slight uncertainty, when they can't quite predict how you feel or what you'll do next, their mind begins to search for answers. That search is what keeps them thinking about you, trying to decode the emotions they thought they understood. Think about the stories and characters that captivate us the most. It's never the ones who reveal everything right away. It's the ones who have layers, who make us want to dig deeper, to understand them beyond the surface. This same principle applies to attraction and emotional connection. When you hold back just enough, when you don't immediately lay all your emotions on the table, you create an aura of intrigue, and that intrigue is powerful. She might not even realize what's happening at first, but over time she starts to notice the shift. She starts to wonder why you're no longer so easily available, why your energy feels slightly different, why she suddenly feels the urge to reach out even when she never had to before. The emotions she once assumed were steady and predictable are now uncertain, and that uncertainty makes her pay attention in a way she never did before. Mystery invites curiosity, and curiosity fuels emotional attachment. When she has to wonder about you, when she has to think twice about how you feel, she invests more of her thoughts and emotions into you, and the more she thinks about you, the stronger that attachment grows. It's not about being manipulative, it's about maintaining a sense of individuality and depth that keeps someone genuinely engaged. When you are emotionally mysterious, you become unforgettable not because you withhold love, but because you allow the other person to experience the journey of discovering it. Self-worth is the foundation of any meaningful connection. It dictates how you present yourself to the world, how you allow others to treat you, and ultimately, how people perceive your value. When you place yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that honors your emotions, boundaries, and aspirations, you shift the dynamics of any relationship. The moment you stop seeking validation from someone else and start embracing your own worth, you become more attractive, more magnetic, and more unforgettable. She can't stop thinking about you, not because you begged for her attention, but because you walked away with confidence. When you pull away, it isn't an act of manipulation, it's a declaration that you refuse to settle for anything less than what you deserve. You are no longer available at her convenience, no longer waiting for her to realize your value, and that shift changes everything. Attraction is deeply tied to respect. When you prioritize yourself, you send a message, not just to her, but to the world, that you are not someone who can be taken for granted. You are not someone who will tolerate being treated as an option, and when she sees that you respect yourself, she will either rise to meet your standards or fade away. Either way, you win. If she truly values you, she will realize your absence. She will feel the difference when you're no longer readily available, and she will start to question why. The truth is, people are drawn to those who don't need them to feel complete. When someone exudes confidence and self-respect, it creates a natural allure. It signals that they have a life beyond seeking validation from a single person. This is what makes you unforgettable, not desperation, not chasing, but the quiet confidence of knowing your worth. When you focus on yourself, you become more than just a thought in her mind. You become a presence that lingers. She starts to wonder where you are, what you're doing, why you're no longer as accessible as before, and in that wondering, her mind is drawn back to you, not because you played a game, but because you prioritized yourself in a way that made her realize she could lose you. Self-worth is also about energy. When you radiate confidence, independence, and fulfillment, it naturally attracts others. People want to be around those who make them feel something, who bring value to their lives. But when you make someone the center of your world without first securing your own foundation, it creates an imbalance. The moment you pull back and redirect that energy inward, toward your goals, your passions, your growth. You reclaim your power. She notices this shift. She sees that you are not broken without her, that you are still thriving, still moving forward. And that realization is powerful. It forces her to see you in a new light. She may have assumed that you would always be there, waiting, hoping for her attention. But now she's the one feeling uncertain. She's the one thinking about you. And the more you focus on yourself, the stronger that impact becomes. This is not about being unavailable or playing hard to get. It's about genuinely understanding that your worth does not depend on someone else's recognition. The moment you embrace that, you stop chasing, and that's when people start chasing you. Magnetic energy is not something you force, something you embody. It's an invisible yet undeniable force that draws people toward you, making them think about you even when you're not around. Some people have a natural presence, a way of carrying themselves that makes others want to be near them. But what truly creates this magnetic pull is a combination of confidence, self-respect, and emotional depth. When you cultivate these qualities, you don't have to chase anyone. People will be drawn to you effortlessly. She can't stop thinking about you because of how you made her feel when you were around. Your energy wasn't just about what you said or did. It was about the way you moved, the way you listened, the way you carried yourself. You didn't seek approval or validation. You simply existed in a way that made her notice. And now that you've pulled away, she feels that absence more than she expected. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and self-assurance. When you are secure in who you are, you create an aura that makes others want to be in your presence. It's not about arrogance or pretending to be better than anyone else. It's about owning your space, knowing your worth, and refusing to compromise on the energy you bring into your life. She was attracted to you not just because of what you said or did, but because of the way you made her feel about herself when she was with you. Magnetic energy comes from a deep sense of purpose. When you have passion, when you're focused on your growth, when you live a life that excites you, people can sense it. There's something captivating about a person who is genuinely happy with themselves and their path. You don't need anyone to complete you, and that kind of independence is incredibly attractive. She notices that you're not desperate for her attention, and that makes her want it even more. Another powerful element of magnetic energy is unpredictability. When you're too available, too eager, too predictable, the excitement fades. But when you maintain a sense of mystery, when you don't reveal everything at once, you create curiosity. She starts to wonder about you, about what you're thinking, about why you're no longer so easily accessible. That curiosity keeps you in her mind long after you've left the room. Energy is contagious. If you radiate confidence, joy, and self-respect, people feel it. They want to be around you because your presence uplifts them. She remembers how she felt in your presence. The spark, the excitement, the way your energy made ordinary moments feel special. And now that you're no longer there, she finds herself missing that energy. She might not even realize it at first, but something feels different, something feels off, and that feeling keeps her thinking about you. The truth is, attraction is rarely about looks or words alone. It's about how you make someone feel in your presence. If you are confident, if you carry yourself with purpose, if you are someone who is genuinely excited about life, that energy becomes irresistible. And when you pull away, when you redirect that energy inward, you create an undeniable pull. She starts to feel it. She starts to crave it. And before she knows it, she can't stop thinking about you. Love and timing are two forces that shape relationships in ways we often don't anticipate. You can meet the right person at the wrong time and watch everything fall apart. You can also meet someone when neither of you is ready, only to reconnect later when life has shifted in a way that allows love to truly flourish. Timing is not just about clocks and calendars. It's about personal growth, emotional readiness, and the alignment of two souls at the right moment. She can't stop thinking about you because something in her heart tells her that what you shared wasn't meant to fade. Maybe she wasn't ready to appreciate you when you were there. Maybe she assumed you would always be around. Maybe she was caught up in her own world, not realizing the depth of what you brought into her life. But now, with distance and silence, she feels something unexpected. A pull, a longing, a sense that she might have overlooked something important. Love has its own rhythm, and sometimes it takes losing something to understand its true value. She didn't realize how much your presence meant until it was no longer guaranteed. The moments you shared together, the words you spoke, the way you made her feel, it all seemed like a given at the time. But now, she replays those memories with a different perspective. She wonders if she was too careless, if she should have paid more attention, if she missed something that was right in front of her. Timing is everything, because no matter how strong a connection is, if two people are not in the same emotional space, love cannot grow the way it's meant to. Sometimes one person is ready while the other is still figuring things out. Sometimes life demands attention in other areas, career, personal healing, family obligations, making it impossible to fully invest in love. And yet, even when life gets in the way, true emotions don't just disappear. They linger. They surface at unexpected moments. They remind us that timing might have separated us, but the feelings remain. She might not have been in a place to fully embrace what you offered, but that doesn't mean she didn't feel it. And now that you've pulled away, now that your energy is no longer freely available to her, she has the space to reflect. She wonders what you're doing, if you've moved on, if the connection you shared was as real to you as it was to her. Love and timing also teach us patience. The right connection at the wrong time will always feel like an almost unfinished story. A song that stops before the last note. But when two people are meant to be in each other's lives, they find their way back when the time is right. That's why she can't stop thinking about you. Something inside her tells her that this isn't just about losing someone, it's about realizing that maybe she wasn't ready before, but now she sees things differently. She may not know what to do with these emotions yet. She may struggle between reaching out and holding back, between admitting how she feels and pretending she doesn't care. But one thing is certain, timing may have separated you, but it hasn't erased you from her mind, and that thought alone keeps her coming back to you over and over again.